media specialist for the middle and elementary levels, for
Technology coordinator.
technology coordinator. We cannot hope to fund them this year. We will eventually hope to fund them.
Now, those positions, will they be school K through 12, or are you talking positions specific towards a
The,
school? Because my question is...
two of them would be K through 12, the other would be geared to the middle and elementary.
Okay. And the K through 12 ones, what positions again? What are they?
Another integrated technology teacher
Okay,
and a technology director coordinator, whatever.
okay. Um, And now, do we have any feel for what we need to budget? What would be the additional funding would have needed to be to staff to
We
that?
would have budgeted each of those positions at Masters 2. It would have been about
You're talking,
100,
yeah, another 100. So, but,
15,000.
so we're looking over the next few years of bringing those positions into the system, hopefully? And
As resources permit.
yeah, so we're looking at ourselves as being possibly 3 positions short of where we need to be, 3 or 4 positions short long-term
In technology.
in technology. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
Overall.
I don't even want to address the other one. I'm just concerned right now with the technology needs, particularly at the high school. Another thing was, it's my number 3 on here. Last year, as part of the $100,000 that was requested for computer resources, the high school was looking to improve the math and science program, and also to the CAD program, and then there's a new technology program that's been added. And those resources never came to be. And I know they're in the budget again this year. And being on the council, we've been being briefed on what the different departments are looking to be able to do next year with the curriculum. And it seems to me as though the curriculum is very much dependent upon those needs being met. And I'm wondering if it's the intent, in this particular budget, are we going to be able to meet those needs at the high school this year?
Would you?
Sure. My direct answer would be that the technology request for hardware, the $100,000, a substantial portion of that will be directed toward the high school. This year, we did use a portion of that money to support increasing the network at the high school. We also used that money to support the upgrade of computers for our graphic arts program. And we also used that money to support the networking issues within the high school office for student information management. And we also used that money to upgrade the CAD, computer assisted design program at the high school. There are certainly some additional needs to upgrade the math lab, which was one of the requests last year, and we would look to use the new capital money to move in that direction. But there's also a need to provide classroom technology and to complete the networking of the high school. That needs to receive a high priority as well.
So does either one of those outweigh the other, or is it?
Again, I'll look to this technology team and the director of curriculum to make the final recommendation on that.
Because it's from the information we were given, in order, say, to introduce to the curriculum as a programming course next year, that math lab has to happen. If it doesn't happen, I don't believe there's a contingency plan, and we're already several years behind where we should be in offering students that are interested in computer science or engineering some type of an introductory course to computers, and they're just
Well,
not
we
getting it.
offer basic programming now, and actually just reading the draft of next year's program of studies, I did notice that C++ language is included for the first time in there.
If we get that lab.
It is predicated on upgrading the...
It's like, you know...
All right, I know you have some more questions here, but I'm going to give someone else a turn, and then we'll come back to the
Okay.
rest of your questions.
Thank you.
Dan?
I hate to be a realist here, but I think scenario 4 is what's going to become the real budget on town floor. And that would be available revenue, that would be an appropriate, let let me just say, it's getting late, and I need to know where the $336,000 is gonna come from. Because if the money's not there, we need to know what's going to be cut. And if it's going to be bus user fees, I have a few things to say about that. If the athletic fees are going to be increasing, I can talk about my daughter who's had to buy uniforms to play after paying $175 user fees for 2 sports. And if the buses are coming, I can talk to you about sidewalks that don't exist, 50-pound backpacks that kids are carrying. I can talk to you about the traffic lights that the selectmen love to discuss on Haverhill Street and Park Street, and if you think there's an issue there now, get rid of busing and send 200 cars up and down Haverhill and Park Street. We need to know what this $336,000 is.
My personal expectation, and this is not a committee decision yet, we haven't seen all the data, is that some of it will be raised by busing fees. We will make sure that the service is available, but
Okay.
it will be on a fee basis.
And I've heard.
And I also expect that there will be additional relief from the legislature. We're working right now with the governor's proposal, and both houses of the legislature have ridiculed it. I fully expect that at least there'll be some additional relief, provided that taxes are not rolled back in November. How much additional relief, I have no way of knowing. We have a commitment from the planning committee I spoke of earlier, the chairs and vice chairs and all, that any additional Chapter 70 aid, they would support it being given to the schools at October town meeting. Now, what can we plan on there? We can hope to see the House budget before April town meeting. They should have their budget put together by the end of this month. We'll at least see what the number is in it. The Senate is the body that is most supportive of education. When I was listing our blessings at the beginning, I should have been listing the Senate especially. We won't see their budget till May. We won't know for sure what's going to come out of a joint committee, probably until June, possibly July. The one thing going for us is that it's an election year. The legislature will adjourn at the end of July. They'll have this settled by then. We're putting together plans that will allow us to know what things can be put off without impacting the beginning of the year, so that if we don't know until July, we can add them back in then. Where will we end up? I hope we'll be able to put together a package, and I say I hope, that provides all of the services in scenario 2 without going to town meeting for more money in April than is available at that time.
One of my questions is if the user fee is $100 or $150 per student, there are families who have opted to have the wife not work or a husband not work, and an extra, if they have 2 children, an extra $300 on this user fee. If they live in a remote area and they don't have neighbors and they don't have sidewalks, then the families are making choices that the woman or the father needs to go to get a job so that they can drive the kids to school. I have kids in 3 different schools. I'll be driving up and down Haverhill Street from 7 in the morning till 9. 3 different children to get to school. I have the high school bus, the middle school bus, and the elementary bus for 2 more years. That's $600 that my family would have to spend to get my children to school. It's not off my tax rate. I have trash stickers. I have athletic user fees. We have a false tax rate in this town. We have a fake tax rate. We don't tax to the max, but we put user fees on every family that has children. Maybe we should have user fees for the senior center. There's a concept.
I happen to agree with you. Do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, I have a
I'm just- no, I'm
recommendation.
serious.
My
I'm serious.
recommendation is that the operating budget is finished before we do the capital plan in this town.
I don't-
Because you don't do your capital plan before you pay your bills.
Well, I'm not
And the
following
Board
you.
of Selectmen
I'm
has
asking for a
moved-
recommendation on the operating budget.
I think you should get the $336,000, because when you have a dead kid who's walked to school
Where?
with no sidewalks, you get the money from free cash before the capital plan is done.
It's an option.
Because you don't buy SUVs, central air conditioning before you take care of your business and your light bill.
What's your prognostications for free cash, but because it's about $135,000 right now.
There's a stabilization fund that can be used too.
Increase the fees at the golf course.
You can't use that money.
Can't use that money.
Sorry, I had to vent, but
I know,
you
I
don't
know.
pay, you don't,
And I don't have any
you
real
can't
answers
answer
for
me.
you.
But you can't you can't do
the-
your capital plan until you've paid your operating budget.
There were some motions before one of the boards at one point about trying to raise revenues by putting up these towers for wireless services. Why couldn't the schools try to adopt something like that and generate revenue?
Cancer.
Yes.
That's a town zoning issue, we don't have that.
What's gonna happen when the temporary ability to put up these temporary classrooms expires at the batch?
Well,
Isn't that on the horizon as well?
Yes.
as long as a plan is moving forward to replace the school, the Historic District Commission will allow them to remain.
Is there a chance that the school could be condemned?
The badge?
No, it's not that bad.
Yes, it is that bad, but
It
it's
is that bad.
grandfather.
I mean, you wait till some kid gets electrocuted
Yeah, it's
with the
grandfather.
extension cords running out in the halls, or burned with the steam heaters,
We-
or
the-
any number of things could happen.
The Facilities Use Management Committee has come to a point of unanimously endorsing those schools. Now, it still has to be approved by an October town meeting and a November ballot. But with that unanimous endorsement, I'm hopeful that both of those approvals will come in. George, you had some other questions on your list.
I think that basically, you already covered the one with the school careers. The only other thing on that was, that grant, is that just for 1 year, or is that something that we're gonna get money from? Is it more?
I believe it's at least a 1 year and maybe extended to,
Because the thing that really excited me about that was and you had mentioned it, was the certification that the high school students can get in the networking. And if we need to add something to the curriculum to start that program, and we do that with this grant this year, it would be a real shame to have to abandon it before the students even were able to complete it. And I didn't know, is it too early yet to tell what it will take to keep that program going?
again, it's very new, and as I said, tomorrow our group is going to Cisco to explore that, and also looking for corporate sponsorship.
Mhm.
So it involves more than one community.
Yeah. The other thing was, I have on there, is the typewriters at the high school, the keyboarding class. I've just heard rumors over the years that the maintenance of those machines is quite expensive. I don't have a dollar amount, and I don't know if it's true or not. But if we're spending a lot of money on maintenance, and we have so many older computers in the high school, they're 386s that are not upgradable, will not meet the needs of the computer lab or this math lab that we talked about a little bit earlier. You know, can we get to a point where we can use these older PCs to replace broken typewriters and maybe use the money that maintaining the typewriters to purchase new PCs? You know,
That's certainly
is there
something
money
worth
there to
looking
look at, to play with? Because I don't know if